Wow, that's pretty cool. I haven't been on for a while, and that's very exciting.
Yeah, that is very exciting.
Very nice.
Good afternoon, Evolution family. Today is Thursday, February 6, 2025. It's a little bit after 3 p.m. Pacific time. I'm Jose Lambert of Archer Travel Service, and I'm joined with Susie Hegmuller here. Susie, thank you for taking time out of your day to join us for this special report. Now, we've got a lot of information to give you guys. And, well, hi, Amanda. How are you?
Great. How you guys doing?
We're good.
We're good. We're good.
Thanks for your patience.
Yeah, I know. We have a little
problem.
snafu, but we're here.
But we wanted to get this information out here to you. Now, if you want a copy of this PowerPoint, but actually, I'm not going to say that. If you want a copy of the PowerPoint, you can get it. But every agent should be watching this because this is important information that's going to be affecting all your travel, including the other markets, the UK, EU, Mexico, Australia, New Zealand. All the markets will be affected here. So be aware of these new travel regulations for 2025, right? You want to add anything?
This is new, and they've been talking about it for a while, just like we're going to go over Real ID. They've been talking about that for the last couple of years, and it's really coming to fact now. And this is something that's been in the works for a while, and as of May,
May 7th.
This is going to be real. So this is super important. This has to do with your traveler, inbound and outbound, once they leave the United States. Okay?
Susie hit on it. We're going to talk about Real ID. We're also going to talk about the ETAs into Europe and the European Union, and also for Mexico coming to the United States, and UK and EU people and Australia people coming to the United States. So all of this revolves around everything, guys. Can we go to the next slide, Amanda? Can we go to that? Because I don't think Susie has experienced this yet in here in our Archer Travel Service universe here. And now let's go to the very first slide. Look at that.
Oh my God, look at Desi.
Okay. All right. So like I said, we're going to try not to go very quickly with this, but again, pay attention, have a piece of paper, a pen or a pencil ready and available. Okay. Let's go to the next slide. Here we go. All right, let's talk about this. 2025 travel requirements, domestic and international destinations. That's the new travel requirements. Let's go to the next slide.
Let me get out of the way here.
That's all right. You're fine. Isn't it great that she's back? I know. Okay. This one here.
You.
Step over here.
I'm going to move away so you guys can read
this. All right. You can go back. She moved it. TSA publishes final rule on Real ID enforcement. This broke on January 14th. This is last month. The TSA, and listen, pay attention to this because I'm telling you, on May 7th, they're not going to push back. All right? The TSA announced a final rule that provided a framework for the federal agency's phased enforcement of Real ID requirements. The TSA will begin Real ID enforcement on the deadline, which is May 7th, 2025. Starting that day, only state-issued driver's licenses and identification cards that meet the security requirements established by the Real ID Act will be permitted for official purposes, including boarding commercial aircraft. I'm serious. I just got back from Florida, and I told you, the signs are there.
They're not joking. Also, please remember, this says the Real ID looks different than your driver's license from wherever you happen to have your license from.
Yes.
I still have an old California license. I don't have a Real ID yet. Real ID looks different, and it has a different... It's a total different look.
Yes,
so don't get this mixed up with your regular driver's license. This is different. And
be aware, okay, that if you don't have this, a passport can work too. All right, a passport or a Real ID. But again, okay, and here's the thing. Not all the states are calling it Real ID. Some states are calling it Traveler ID.
It's enhanced driver's license.
Or it's something that they have a different thing for it. But I'm going to show you the links right now in a few minutes here for the DMVs in the states. Let's go to the next slide, please. So they're not messing around. So May 7th, if you got people flying, and the thing is that we know, are you ready? Are you Real ID ready to fly starting May 7th of 2025? All U.S. travelers must have Real ID compliant to board domestic flights. Now, as you can see, there's an example of the card. And in the upper right-hand corner of the card, you see that there's a star. Each one is different in all the states.
This happens to be a California one.
This happens to be a California one. So, and let's now go to the next slide. We're now going to show you a video, all right, from the state of California. Oh, wait.
Nope.
Here we go. What? Look, no. No, that's
wow.
Going around the universe. So, Real ID beginning May 7th. what happened? 2025. U.S. travelers need a Real ID compliant. To obtain a Real ID, individuals must visit their state driver's license agency and provide documentation verifying their full legal name, date of birth, social security, proof of address, and lawful status. In lieu of the Real ID, alternative TSA approved forms include identification such as a passport or a Department of Defense ID for the military. But here's the thing, Susie, okay? You got somebody like John who's visiting Aunt Mary. He's from Dallas-Fort Worth, and he's visiting Aunt Mary up in Evanston, Illinois. So he flies up there with his passport. He doesn't have Real ID. While he's up there visiting Aunt Mary, guess what happens? He loses his passport. How is John going to get back to Dallas-Fort Worth? The bus? You see, that's why I'm saying make sure your clients know about this. And yeah, you're just going to have to.
TSA has been telling people, I flew like 3 or 4 months ago, and when I went on, I still had my California ID, and it wasn't Real ID, and he just reminded me that don't forget, in May, this driver's license will not be sufficient for you to fly domestically. Remember, this is domestic.
Okay, so now we're going to show you this video from the state of California, which will also be used in other states of what type of documentation you need to bring to get your Real ID. Let's go ahead and roll it, Amanda.
Join the millions of Californians who've upgraded their driver's license or identification card to a Real ID. It will allow you to keep using your California driver's license or identification card to board flights within the United States and enter secure federal facilities and military bases beginning May 2025. It's easy. Start your application online at realid.dmv.ca.gov. Upload the necessary identity document, like a valid passport or certified birth certificate. Upload 2 documents to prove your California residency. You can use things like cell phone and utility bills, mortgage and bank statements, and others. You can upload files from your computer or take photos with your mobile device to send them to the DMV. Finally, you'll provide your social security number. You'll be able to make an appointment at your nearest DMV office, and be sure to bring your original documents with you for verification. You'll be in and out of the office in minutes. So, get on board with Real ID by starting your application at realid.dmv.ca.gov. Remember, your Real ID is your most important carry-on.
The structure motorized pergola.
It's really a great video. It's very clear about what it is you need to do, and it's nice that you can do a lot of this online. This way when you get to the DMV, you don't have to start from square one.
Now, that is for California DMV, but that's certainly what you're going to need for all the DMVs. Now, I'm going to show you, well, how do I get to my DMV in Wisconsin or Indiana? Or, let's go to the next slide. I found this website called dmv.org. Okay? We're going to through the, here we go. Whoop. There we go. No upgrade to, let's go to the next slide. It's dmv.org now. This is not a state organized thing. It's not owned by a state, but if you go to the link, and Amanda's going to provide it for you, here it is. Here's the link. And if you scroll down, okay, it's dmv.org. Look, there it is.
By your state.
By your state. Just click on here. It'll take you right to your DMV, what you need to know, how to get your travel ID or whatever that state is calling it. All the states are calling it different ones, but you're going to need this Real ID. So there's the list right there, so you can get there if you live in Utah, blah, blah, blah. I don't know how I get there. Boom, it's right there for you, okay? All right.
And I do see there's a lot of questions in chat. We will have time for Q&A at the end.
Okay.
So we will ask those to Susie and Jose.
Okay, thank you.
So like I said, you got to be on top of that one. All right, let's go to the next slide. Now let's talk about these other things that are happening.
All these things.
ETA things.
ETAs.
Here we go. We're going to go to
It's
the
not
next.
estimated time of arrival.
It's not estimated time of arrival.
not.
No, it's not.
Okay.
And it's now we're going to talk about going to Europe and the United Kingdom. This is called an ETA, all right? And the ETA is Electronic Travel Advisory, all right? And what you need, this started January 8th. Anyone going into the United Kingdom has to have this, plus a passport and a visa if you're going there. Passport if you're just going there for 90 days.
Right.
But you have to have this or else you're not getting on the plane. Now, what they recommend on this is you want to book this or get this done as soon as you book your travel, because it takes like 3 or 4 days.
And it's going to ask you information about your flight information. So it's kind of a dual. You have to have the flight booked first, so that when you go to this, it's going to ask you for the information on your flight,
Right.
your inbound date, your flight and things. So you need that first.
Yeah.
The minute you get that, apply for this.
Yeah.
This also is going to limit, it's going to exempt last minute bookings.
Yeah.
Okay, so if somebody comes to you and says, I want to go in 3 days, this is not going to
Doesn't work.
happen.
It's not
Don't
gonna
even
happen.
talk about it. Because this is brand new, and they're saying about 3 days, but we all know how that works.
Yeah,
especially
and
when
it's just
something's
started.
new.
And it's just started. So,
Okay.
and they're saying it takes about 3 days to get. That's why we say as soon as you get your booking and you've gotten your air, get in here. You need to get a photograph, either a passport photo or you can just do a regular photograph. You need to give them the itinerary where you're going, what you're doing there. And I think it's like $13 US
Yeah.
to do this. Now, this is good for like 3 years. You can go in and out of it. There was, when the policy first started, that they were going to have to do layovers, but they've decided to drop
To
that. So
do
you don't
that,
need
yeah.
to worry about
Don't
that.
do that.
Okay? But this started January 8th. Anybody going to the United Kingdom for this summer? Mexico. You guys book a ton of UK. Australia, New Zealand, same thing for you guys if you got people going to the UK this summer. Let's go to the next slide, please.
Please don't get this confused with the rest of Europe.
Yes, don't.
This is
Okay.
only the UK.
Okay, Americans traveling to the UK must apply for the country's electronic travel authorization, a screening process. The ETA costs about $13 and is good for multiple entries up to 2 years. If you're going to the UK on or after January 8th, apply for the ETA in advance. In advance, as the application may take up to 3 business days to process. And if you don't have that, you're not getting on the plane. Very simple to know. Let's go to the next slide, please. Okay, do I need a UK ETA? Yes, look at this. All right, non-EU citizens, that's November 17th, that would be us, but look at this, EU citizens in the EU, para España, para Alemania, Francia, starting March 8th, 2025, for trips starting in April. So even EU citizens
are gonna have
need
to
this
have
if you're going
right.
into the United Kingdom. Okay, so be aware of this. Don't think, oh, I live in the European Union, I don't need it. Yes, you do. Okay, let's go to the next slide. We're now also going to show you a video of how, go back. Let's go back to the universe. Let's go there. No, not that one.
Close.
Wait,
you go.
wait. I'm going.
We're going.
No, let's go one more. One more.
Whoa.
Then one more. Whoa! Here we go.
We're
There we go.
driving too
Stop.
fast.
Stop the spaceship. Here is how to apply for UK electronic travel authorization. Again, Amanda will be giving you this link in the comments room, so take a, review it and check it out. Let's roll it.
If you're planning a trip to the United States, ESTA can make travel simple and
This video will show you how to apply for an Electronic Travel Authorization, or ETA. To check whether you need an ETA, go to gov.uk/electronic travel authorization. It is best to apply early, before booking your travel. If you cannot apply yourself, someone else can apply for you. The simplest way to apply is using the UK ETA app, which makes it easier to take pictures of yourself and your passport. To get started, visit gov.uk on your smartphone, or you can go directly to the UK ETA app on the Google Play Store and App Store. If you do not have a compatible smartphone or are applying for someone who is not physically with you, you can apply online on gov.uk instead. You will need the passport you will use to travel to the UK, your email address, and a credit or debit card. Alternatively, you can use Google Pay or Apple Pay. When you start your application, you'll be asked to take a picture of the photo page of your passport. Make sure all the details are clearly visible. If you are applying online, you can upload a photo of your passport. If you are using the app on a compatible smartphone, and your passport has a biometric chip, the app will ask you to scan it. Place your phone on the front cover of your passport. You will hear a beep when the chip has been read. If you have any problems, you'll be asked to try again. If you keep seeing an error, you can skip this step. Next, you'll be asked to scan your face to confirm your identity. Hold the camera in front of your face and keep your face within the oval. Children aged 9 and under will not be asked to scan their face. You will then need to take a photo of yourself in the app. If applying online, you can upload one from your device. The photo must include your head and shoulders against a plain background, without shadows or objects behind you. Look directly at the camera, have a neutral expression, and keep your head straight. You must not have anything covering your face and eyes. Do not wear a head covering unless for religious or medical reasons. Finally, we will ask you a few questions. You will not need to give details of your travel plans. Complete your application by paying with your credit or debit card. You can also use Google Pay or Apple Pay. You will get an ETA reference number and an email to confirm you have applied. When we have made a decision, we will email you to confirm the outcome. We aim to have a decision with you within 3 working days. Your ETA will be digitally linked to the passport you applied with, so when travelling, you will only need to show your passport. We look forward to welcoming you to the UK. To find out more and apply for an ETA, go to gov.uk/electronic travel authorisation.
There we go. Okay, that's that. Now, during the video, Susie came up with a really important thing, okay? You asked, who is supposed to be doing this?
Who's responsible for this documentation process?
Okay, it's the clients. The clients need to do this. You cannot do this for the clients. As you can see in this past video, it's the pictures of the client that has to be on this, okay? So what you need to do is, again, forward this information to your family members, friends, potential clients that are going to the UK. If they're doing anything over there, they need to have this information. Same thing with the Real ID. We're not only telling you guys to get a Real ID, but tell all your family members, your friends, the people in your community. If you know people that, travel domestically a lot in the United States, they need to get one as soon as possible.
Some people are not going to know about this.
Right.
So, this isn't like you're turning on the news and they're telling you, oh, by the way, if you're traveling to the UK, you need this ETA. Nobody's going to tell you this. This information is going to come from your supplier, and this is going to be your responsibility as the booking agent. The minute I'm going to retract what I said before, if your customer is thinking about doing this, they said don't wait until you're ready to ticket. But I would do it ahead of time. If your person is going to be going, once you confirm the booking,
right? You confirm
and they
the
put
air
money
date.
on it.
Yeah.
Take it immediately. Don't
And
wait till final
fill this
payment.
out.
Yeah.
Fill this out.
And send them the link to this, because this is their responsibility. As you can see, they need to take their own picture. It has to link to their passport. You do not want to be doing this. That means you have to have a copy of their passport. You can't even have a copy. You have to have the actual passport. So give them this link. Go over it with them. But the minute you get an international booking right now to the UK, make sure you send them this link, because there's going to be a whole lot of things. There's going to be lots of questions on
And
this.
the client's going to be like, what? I need to do this? Yeah. Let me send you this video. Amanda's going to provide the link for you of this video in the comments room that you can send to your clients. Okay, I got that from the actual state, the UK Gov, produced that, and explains everything. And you can sit down with the client and go step by step, help them, but they have to do it. All right, so that's the UK. What? There's more? Yes. Let's go to the next one.
This is going to be ongoing.
Yeah, ongoing. Now that happened January 8th. Now, look at this. This is the European Travel Information and Authorization System. This is for the European Union. Now, a date has not been set for this, but they are saying either May of 2025 or June of 2025. They really want to get the summer season. They want to. Okay, and it's the same kind of idea. Same thing as for UK, but we don't have a start date yet. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Now, let's explain this. European Union's entry and exit system, which is ESS, and the European Travel Information Authorization System, which is ETIAS, will all require travelers from the United States and Mexico and Australia, New Zealand, before entering into most European countries for a short stay. Once they launch, these authorizations can be obtained electronically and quickly once they launch. Currently, the website that these two things are on are not functioning and are not doing enrollments. We will keep you abreast, we will keep you updated when this will start. Mexico, you book a ton of EU going into España. So Australia, you book a ton of EU also. So it's the same thing. So be aware of this. Let's go to the next slide. I'm telling you, I'm not looking forward to May 7th or a lot of this stuff. Yeah. I mean, the airline, I'm going to tell you something. Don't have anybody flying out on May 7th because it's going to be just a mess in the United States, okay? Now, the new travel requirements in 2025, what you need to know. The key difference between entry-exit system and the ETIAS is that the ESS is a system that records when and where a non-EU traveler enters and exits the European Union, essentially acting as a digital passport stamp. You still need passport and visa to go to the EU. Mm-hmm. This does not take that, right?
It doesn't eliminate that.
It does. You still need the passport. While the ETIAS is a pre-travel authorization required by visa-exempt citizens to enter the EU, similar to a visa. Essentially, it's like this. EES tracks your movements within the EU, while ETIAS determines if you are allowed to enter at all. So I know it's kind of complicated, but you're going to need both of these. All right, now let's go to the next slide. We're showing you, we're giving you the information, and then we're also going to show you, here you can do this one.
I can't see that one.
Okay, in May 2025, the European Union will implement the Europe Travel Information and Authorization System. People from Mexico, South America, Australia, New Zealand without a visa will need to apply for the EES and ETAS. It's also good to submit an application as soon as you plan your European trip to ensure application is processed in case of delays. What Susie was talking about, as soon as you get booked, you know, I'm going in June. I'm planning a trip in June to Spain. I will need to get this. As soon as I get my ticketing, I will apply for this right away so I have it. So that's the best way to do it.
It is, and I'm also going to Spain in September, so this is probably going to be one of the questions. I'm flying into Spain, but I'm also doing a Mediterranean cruise, which is going to take me to France, Italy, and Spain. So that's 3 countries I'm entering by ship. Mm-hmm. I'm going to need the one that covers me. And
it will cover,
throughout. It covers the whole thing.
It covers all the European Union countries. You don't need to worry about it. So if you're in Spain, you want to go to France, you want to go to Italy, you're covered. With your passport and these 2 things, you're fine. Okay? All right, so now let's go to the next slide. Now I'm going to show you a video on how to fill this out and when you need to fill it out. Let's go ahead and roll it, Amanda. I think go here.
The rules of traveling to 30 European countries are changing. The European Union is introducing ETIAS, the European Travel Information and Authorization System, a new travel authorization which applies to visa-free travelers. This means that if you do not need a visa to enter Europe, you now must have an ETIAS to travel to any of these European countries. ETIAS is not a visa. Similar travel authorizations are required in countries like the US, Canada, and Australia. Applying for an ETIAS is simple and secure. You can do it online using the European Union's official website. All you need is a passport, a payment card, and an email address. You will also need to enter your basic personal information, answer a few questions, and submit your application. The fee is only €7. In most cases, ETIAS will be granted within minutes, but to avoid problems while traveling, make sure you apply well before starting your journey. Once approved, your ETIAS will be valid for up to 3 years and you can use it for multiple entries. Beware of scammers. There is only one official ETIAS website: europa.eu/ETIAS. Easy, fast, and secure.
I like singing, dancing, musical
If you're
theater
planning
in
a
my
trip to the
cat.
United
I was
States,
having a ton of trouble.
ESTA can make travel simple and easy. Through the Visa Waiver Program, ESTA allows qualified foreign travelers to visit the U.S. for up to 90 days without a
Get to that one here in a minute, okay?
There's
Okay.
a whole lot of these. These are
These are a whole lot of them. All right, Amanda's going to give you again the link to this video. She's going to give that out there to you, and we'll probably be posting some of these things throughout the spring and the season to remind
because
you.
once summer starts,
And May 7th and stuff, you're going to need this information. We're going to provide you the links, the fees, how much each one of them costs. Now that's going into the EU, all right? So there we go. Now let's go to the next slide.
remember this one covers everywhere in Europe. So let's be careful
Yeah.
that we're not going outside the box here. This has nothing to do with Asia.
Right, it has nothing to do with Asia or anything.
Okay.
This is just for the European
Right
Union
now.
only, okay?
Perfect.
Now, let's talk to the agents in the UK, talk to agents in the EU, talk to agents in Australia, New Zealand, and in Mexico. The United States has one. It's called the Electronic System for Travel Authorization. They haven't put it, this has been out here for about a year and a half now, okay? It is used, some of it's kind of lax for people in Mexico. If you're driving in from Mexico
Right.
into the United States, you don't need it. But if you are flying, in most cases, you do need it. But again, Mexico, pay attention when you're doing this, because if you've got people going from Guadalajara to Orlando, para Disneylandia, okay, you're going to need it.
You're going to need this, right?
You're going to need it. Australia, New Zealand, same thing if you got people coming to the United States. UK, same thing if you've got people coming into the United States. EU, same thing. If you got people flying into the United States, you're going to need this. Let's go to the next slide, please. I'm going to show you how easy it is to book it. Citizens of certain European countries can travel to the United States without a visa by applying for an electronic system or an ESTA. ESTA is part of the Visa Waiver Program, which is administered by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security and U.S. Customs and Border Patrol. ESTA applications confirm that your passport is an electronic passport. You know, so I'm going to stop here a second. When I went to Spain, and I think I told you about this, a lot of the EU citizens had it right there, the passport right on their
It's
phone.
like a chip.
Yeah, it's like a passport. It was
But
like
we
an
don't-
app.
yeah,
It was an app.
but
It was like,
we don't have
bleep.
that here.
We don't have that yet. I can't wait though. Complete the ESTA application. It's about $4 processing fee. As approved, pay the additional $17 authorization fee. Receive an ESTA application number. Check the status of your application using the ESTA application number. Let's go to the next slide. So again, this is affecting inbound into the United States. And now we're going to show you a video of
How to do this.
How to use ESTA for eligibility to enter into the United States. Let's go ahead and roll it, Amanda.
If you're planning a trip to the United States, ESTA can make travel simple and easy. Through the Visa Waiver Program, ESTA allows qualified foreign travelers to visit the U.S. for up to 90 days without obtaining a visa. Applying for an ESTA is quick and easy through the official ESTA website at esta.cbp.dhs.gov. To start, simply click Apply and create new application. The ESTA site will walk you step by step through the application process, beginning with reading both the disclaimer and Travel 2009 clause. Once confirmed, you're ready to continue with your application. Next, you will need to upload a clear photo of your passport. It is critical that your passport information is current and accurate. You will also need to enter and confirm your email address to receive your application number and status updates on your application once submitted. At any time during the application process, your information may be saved for completion at a later date. However, a saved application must be completed within 7 days or it will be deleted. Also, note that payment is not due until your application is complete and submitted. Continue completing the personal and travel information steps, as well as answering key eligibility questions. Visual cues along the way will help ensure that you're providing all the necessary information. It is important that you review your application to make sure that all your information is correct before submitting. Once reviewed, simply click the Pay Now button to submit. If you are unable to pay at the time of submission, you'll be given a payment due date. If payment is not received by that date, your application will be deleted. Once your application is submitted, you will receive a notification via email that it was received. You will get notified of your status within or after 72 hours of submission. If you have any questions, our help desk is available 24/7 to assist with application completion or status updates. Once your ESTA is approved, you can travel to the U.S. for up to 90 days, and your ESTA is good for up to 2 years or until your passport expires. Let ESTA and the Visa Waiver Program be your ticket to an unforgettable trip to the United States.
Another E thing.
Yeah, another E thing. Now, you know, listen, Susie's right. Your suppliers, vendors, the cruise lines will help you with emails telling you that your clients will need these
What
things.
they need, right.
Especially for the land suppliers, you know, Delta Vacations, blah, 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 you know, all that. Now, for you agents outside of the United States, you know, you also have suppliers and vendors that you deal with. They will also provide this information for you. Please check it. Now, we just had a thing we were talking about Asia, and that for people inbound from Asia, that's a whole nother issue there. So, but those providers will give that information to you.
Right. And I don't know what that information is going to be. If it's going to be one of these ESTA things, we don't have notification yet what Asia is going to, you know, what's required, because basically this is kind of taking the place of a visa.
That's right.
Okay, and it's only good for 90 days, just like a visa is. This application is going to be a little bit different and probably ask more questions, because when you apply for a visa, there's always more questions. This one's probably going to take a little bit longer.
And this one's going to be a little, now remember, and the reason why we speak about Asia is we have to think about Hawaii and Alaska. A lot of the Asian visitors inbound to the United States go to Alaska and Hawaii.
Those belong to the United States. Remember that.
So, you know, that's why.
Good.
All right, let's go to the next slide. Now, I've been talking about this all week. I don't know if you heard about this, but on Sunday, U.S. State Department released a thing, and it's really great. For those people, you know, in the United States, here we go. Okay,
ahead.
Amanda?
Yeah.
And we go, there we go. And I've been talking about this all week. The State Department announced its new passport fares. They're going to be passport fares across from California to New Jersey. Check your regional areas through the month of February and March to get people to, you know, get their passports. This is a great opportunity to get your clients who just went on their cruise. They went on their Carnival cruise out of Galveston. They all had birth certificates, but they want to travel now to Punta Cana. They need a passport. They're going to need a passport.
Pretty soon, I believe, coming very soon, passport is going to be the only document that's going to be accepted.
Yeah.
The thing with, you know, your driver's license or your copy of your birth certificate, I think this is pretty much going to go away, and I think the introduction to this is all this ET stuff.
Well, and also another thing, this just happened about 8 months ago. Now you can renew your passport online. One of our folks here who works here, his wife, she did it online and she got it in like 4 weeks. So you don't need to go down to the post office anymore, to the passport office to renew it. You can actually do the renewals online. Let's go to the next slide. I want to show you this. Amanda's going to be providing you the link to the U.S. State Department page on the passport fares, where there will be and what times they will be across the United States. And I'll show you that link right here. See, there's the website and there's the link. It shows you the special passport, what's it called? Acceptance fares. And this is great. It's going to be in libraries, community centers. And now, you as a travel consultant, travel advisor, you should be there.
You should probably go to one of these so that these people are who you need to talk to.
Right, and these are potential clients.
These are right to
there.
The source, right. And
right there.
There's somewhere to get a customer.
Right there, where your travel agent rocks, where your Exotica shirt,
right.
Where, you know, ALG travel agents, wear that. And people will come up to you and say, what's that? I'm telling you.
Good way to network. And these people are probably there for a very good reason.
And they want to travel.
They want to travel.
So you're there. That's why I'm saying this is important. Amanda will be providing the link for you here. And I'll probably check it in the next couple of weeks where these fairs will be, so you guys know where this is and go to these fairs and take your clients with you.
Take your business cards.
And yeah, and take your clients with you going, come on, let's go. Let's get your passports. Let's go. You want to go to Punta Cana? You want to go to Europe? You want to go to, Machu Picchu? Boom, let's do it. Okay? All right, let's go to the next slide. I thought this was going to be longer, but it's been going at a good clip. And I'm sorry if we're going too fast, all right? Let us know. Here we go to the next slide.
Boom.
Okay, important. Still need a passport. Okay. All the information that we've seen here, because I've seen it in the comments room. Does this take the place of a passport or visa? No. No. If you're going to Europe this summer, if you're going to the EU, if you guys are coming into the United States, you need passports. In some cases, you might need visas, but you still need passports. This does not take the place of a passport or a visa.
You can't get any of these documents without your passport.
Without your passport, so you have to take it with you.
You have to have it.
Yeah,
so
you have to take it.
This is another good reason, if you have customers, take them to this fair, get them going with a passport. It's the fastest way, the most efficient way.
And what a great way to network and get potentially more
Perfect.
new clients. It's perfect. It's a win-win for you. All right, let's go to the next slide. Let's talk about some costs for these things. Here we go. Here we go again. Tomorrow's Friday, yay. All right, so here we go. Here are the important links. Amanda will be providing these links for you in the comments room. We have the Real ID, and that's dmv.org. Can show you where all the different drivers' DMVs are in the United States. For the ETA UK, there it is where you can get it, apply for electronic travel authorization for the UK. The ETIAS EU, they're not taking applications yet. I will let you know when that start date is and when they will open up. The ESTA is open for applications, and there it is for the entrance into the United States. And there is the U.S. Passport Fairs link that you need to know about. So there's all the links that you need to know about. Now let's go to the next slide.
Amanda, where are you posting this?
In the comments room.
In the comments room, okay.
She's doing it in the comments room. And we'll probably, like I said, we'll be doing some other work on these, putting these out throughout the spring so you guys know where it is and stuff, okay? And here we go to the next slide. Here's what the fees are. A Real ID is about $30 to $35. It could be higher in other states. I heard that New York is almost charging $50. But it's roughly, I know it's $35 here in California. For the ETA, it's $13 USD. For the ETIAS for EU, it's $7.50. For the ASTA, entrance into the United States is $21. The U.S. passport currently right now for a new passport is $130 plus $35 application and something fee. So it's about $165, and it could go higher if you are trying to get it that much quicker.
If you're trying to expedite, it's
if
going
you're trying
to
to
be
expedite it, it could go into $300, $400, $500. So, but get on that, okay? But the average price right now is $165. This is how much it will cost for travel on these requirements. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Thank you so much, Susie, for
this
being
really
here.
important.
It is. You guys.
There's a big change in the travel industry.
It is.
And I do this all day, every day, and I'm looking at this going, oh dear.
Yeah.
That's one more thing you got on your list that you need to learn.
And it was funny because as I was leaving, Susie said, and Carol stopped me, I've got people going to Holland or somewhere.
We have a group going to Holland in April.
In April. And I said, the dates are not, do they need that? And I said, no, the dates are not yet. Not yet. So, but we will let you know about it.
But be aware, when somebody says Europe to you, that should send your bills right away to find out more and to go to one of these websites to make sure you understand so that you can send it to your customer. Again, this is their responsibility, but your responsibility comes in that you must inform them. Okay? Advise them. Tell them what they need.
Said to take it now. Do it tonight. If you have any questions, call me. I will help you.
Okay.
Do it tonight. Okay? All right.
Make a friend.
Yeah. All right, Amanda, you said you had some questions?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so one of the questions was, passport card is okay, right?
No.
I'm going to stop that right now. Passport card. Okay, you go ahead. You talk.
A passport card does not help you in this reason. If you're flying somewhere, you are on a cruise, you're using a passport card. Let's say you're in Cabo San Lucas and you get sick and you have to be airlifted off of the ship. It will not work. A passport card was something, I really don't suggest you have this. I know it's less expensive, but the reality is this could cause you a huge problem. A passport card is not going to work for any of this that we just discussed.
Let me tell you the purpose of a passport card. What is the purpose of a passport card? A purpose of a passport card is for people that live on the border of Canada and the United States, and the United States and Mexico, that go back and forth each day because they work in one country and live in another.
Correct.
That's the purpose of it. Instead of carrying a passport, they have a passport card that they present to Border, Customs and Border Patrol. And the thing is that by then, those guys see each other every day.
Correct.
They know them. So it's very simple. But that's the only reason why the passport card is created, was for those people, those populations that live on the border that go back and forth every day. So if you're not doing that, you have to get a passport. Very simple.
And as you can see, for the applications for these ETs, you have to take a picture of your passport. You have to give them the passport
Not
number.
a passport card.
You have to, the picture has to attach to the passport. So no passport card. And if you have somebody that continues to use this, I would
They're not going.
They're not going on
They're
this.
not going anywhere.
This has nothing to do with this.
Don't even try getting on a cruise with it. The cruise line will not accept it. They will not. Well, I have a passport card. Guess what? You're not getting on the ship. So don't even think it. Okay. All right. Another question?
That was a big one.
That is a big one.
Yes, we have another question. What about cruises? Is it required?
Yes.
well-
Okay, we just talked about, if you're going on a cruise and you're
You already answered that. That was just a question
Oh,
earlier.
okay, so it already
if
got
you
taken
already
care of.
answered it, we can skip it.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah. If you're
we
going to
did
Europe, you
answer.
need one. If you're going to Europe, you do.
Okay. And then I saw we had another question. Oh yeah, we do. Okay. Is the real ID equal to a passport?
Absolutely not.
No. No.
Your real ID is basically replacing your driver's license. And your driver's license doesn't get you anywhere. Real ID is going to be for
You're the
traveling
flyer
domestically
domestically in the United States.
So if you're flying from Dallas Fort Worth
To Chicago O'Hare.
to Chicago, that's real ID. You don't. Passport is only going to be if you don't have real ID yet.
Yeah.
Passport's going to be the only thing that you're going to be able to board an aircraft domestically. Internationally, you must have a passport the minute you leave the United States. You're not going to go with real ID to Europe.
Now, I do want to go back and talk about one thing, though, okay? Because you talked in this, and I really want clarity on this, okay? Let's talk about passports and cruise lines. Because in the United States, for U.S. citizens out of Galveston, Long Beach,
San Pedro,
Miami, okay, the cruise lines have a lax policy where you can use birth certificates. Because the majority of the time you're going to properties that are either owned or leased by the cruise line. Right? You know, Coco K.
Coco K.
You know, Coco K. Or something K.
Princess K.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Princess K and all of them, right?
All those Ks.
And those areas that they have, like in Honduras and all these other places, those are either owned or leased by the cruise line. So they allow that. But that doesn't mean that you can't go back to your clients and tell them, you know what? You went on that cruise on the Carnival Panorama down to Puerto Vallarta, right? On birth certificates. But now they have a passport fair, and you want to go to Punta Cana next year, you want to take the kids to Spain, let's go to the passport fair. You always want to push your clients to get the passport. That's their freedom to go around the world. That is.
That is. That's like
That is.
unlocking travel for you. And I know I understand the reason for the passport card, and I get it. But your passport is the most important thing that you can have if you're traveling. And I don't care where you're traveling. This will eliminate a whole lot of paperwork and possible issues at the airport with your customer calling and saying, I didn't know I could get on this flight with my real ID. Well, please, please encourage your customer to get a passport.
Yes, and a real ID. And a real ID also. Get that done. And I'm going to tell you something. I remember the first time that I got my passport, I don't want to say how many years ago, right? I was so excited.
I know, it's cool.
You're just so excited. You're like,
wow, my gold.
That's it. I can go anywhere around the planet now.
That's right.
Anywhere. I mean, it just is. And again, boom, boom, boom. They call you. All right, I want to go to Punta Cana. Come on, the kids are ready. Let's go. Boom. All right. Other questions?
Okay, and then did you say how long it takes to get the real ID? Does that vary state to state?
Yes. That will vary state to state, and I would highly recommend that you get on it now, Go to the DMV of your local state and see what it says. If you have to download everything, it's pretty much they're downloading all these documents, then you have to set up an appointment. That's the way they're doing it in California.
Right.
I don't know how they're doing it in Virginia or Delaware or Maryland or in Florida. And again, they're calling them different things. They're calling it travel ID or something like that. So you got to be on top of it, okay? But there, we gave you that information. I don't know how long it is. I don't know if it's going to get back. I know it's going to get backlogged. That's why I'm saying get on it now.
It's getting closer and people are realizing
That's right.
This is not going to be delayed again. In California, it's been delayed, I don't know where else, but it's been delayed multiple times.
Multiple
here.
times. Okay.
Okay. Anything else?
And then on a cruise, the passport must be valid 6 months past the travel dates, right?
Yeah, 6 months upon return date.
Right.
So the day that you return to the United States, you have to have 6 months left on your passport.
It's called validity.
Validity, okay. So you have to, your passport has to be valid for 6 months upon completion of travel.
That's right.
I've had this question asked a lot, and people say, how tough is it? I had somebody, their passport was expiring, I think it was about 3 weeks before their return. I really suggested they just get a new passport. I know that seems stupid, but how would you like to come back and then say, I'm sorry, you're not coming back? So I know it's a costly thing, but you know, the end result is, how would you like to say, I'm sorry you're not coming back to the United States and where you're at, you're staying?
And this is why, you know, like we talked about qualifying this week, right? And you ask that, do you have the proper documentation? Do you have passports? Yes. And if they go, can we see them? And you know, I always, you know, you always have to call, no, I got it. You don't have to worry about it. And they don't know about the validation. They don't know about the validity on it. And then they get down and go, oh, it expired, and I'm going, you know, tomorrow on a cruise. No, you're not. Not now, you're not. Okay? So that's why it's very important that you check those things for them.
Ask for a copy of it.
Ask for a copy. Just say, hey, you know what? Send me a copy of it. Photostat. I don't need the book. Just send it to me.
Yeah.
So I can check the validity
You
on it.
just need the face copy of it. It shows the date that was issued.
And
the
when it
other
was
thing
expired.
that's important, how their name reads on their passport. This becomes a big deal, especially if you have multiple names on your passport. This can become a problem when a ticket's issued. If you've got hyphenated names or you've got 2 last names, please look at the passport so that ticket gets issued properly, okay?
And remember also, children need passports.
Right.
Children do. So, you know, yeah, there's another thing there. And, you know, so now you're working with a family of 4 and they're going, oh my gosh, they're doing a European adventure. Let's get everything together. Let's get to that passport fair. That they're going to have in Mesa, Arizona. They're going to have come on, Mr. Client, let's take the family out. Let's get that done. Boom. Right?
They're going to be able to answer a lot of your questions too. These are the professionals there. They'll be able to help you.
Yeah,
guide
they'll
yourself
ask
through
all your
this.
questions. Yeah. Okay.
Anything else?
Anything else?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Oh, wow.
This is
If
good.
the customers are not U.S. citizens, they can travel with their resident card or their country card within their country, right? Or doesn't say. If the customer are not U.S. citizens, they can travel with their resident card or their country. Then they'd still need the passport.
Well, now wait a minute, because I know some people that are in this that have a residency card, okay, in the United States, or a green card that they live here, okay? There's certain areas they cannot go to. They can go to Hawaii and Alaska, but they can't go to Mexico. They cannot go to places in the Caribbean. You have to really go and check and see what, you know, what the card and what they're saying they can do. Go ahead.
Yeah, you need to find out what kind of card they have. If they have a resident card, a green card, those things don't automatically give you U.S. citizens' rights.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, so in the case where you're not sure and they say, well, I have a green card, but I want to go to, let's say, I want to go to Dubai. You need to check with the consulate to make sure that what your document, the document that your customer has, is legal for them to go to that country, okay? Check with the consulate. Don't assume, but just know a green card and those kind of documents are not a passport. These are different things. And to be honest with you, when you have somebody that has that kind of documentation, get to the consulate. Do not assume and answer those questions because every country is different. You can get yourself in a lot of trouble because just walk away. Be careful of this. Get the information of the kind of documentation they have, where they're going and check with that consulate to make sure you go, before you go one step further, okay? Just make sure.
And I agree with her. As a matter of fact, what I would say to the client is this: I am not an immigration lawyer.
That's right.
You have to go to immigration and who you're dealing with your immigration counsel who've got you your green card to tell you what your travel restrictions are, because they will know that information.
Right.
Okay, we are not getting into what, that is not a passport. That is not a U.S. citizen. You're not a U.S. citizen when you have that card. So they have to go and find that out. Now, also another thing, let's say that you are from Mexico and you're living in the United States, but you don't have it. You can still use a Mexican passport.
Yes.
And travel that way if you want to, but be careful here. Because again, the Mexican government will want to know what your proof of residency is.
That's right.
So if you're not living in the country, you can get into trouble. So again, that is a legal headache that we do travel. We do not do immigration or that, and they give those, and each country is different. Honduras, Guatemala, they're all different.
Very different.
So again, let them deal with that, Just
we're not lawyers and we're not
immigration
lawyers.
Just, right.
If we did that, we wouldn't be doing this. So
That's
just
right.
please be careful. This
That's
is
right.
a
Be
very
careful.
delicate situation.
Yeah, it's a very delicate situation. And remember this, people, we are not going to get passports for the clients. They have to. Right. They have to get their visas.
You can advise them and
you
tell them how to
advise
get an
them. All the
application.
information that we've given you here, you advise them, say, this is what you need to do if you're taking the family to Germany this summer. Okay? Okay. What about
else?
it, Amanda?
Even on a cruise to Hawaii, the passport must be valid for 6 months.
If they're going, if they're
Going
leaving
to Hawaii.
First of all,
Well, doesn't
Right.
every cruise touch an international port, so you always have to have a passport from leaving the U.S.?
well, you're going to Hawaii. You're only going to the Hawaiian Islands.
Yeah, you're just going to.
So, but also it depends. What is their citizenship?
Yeah.
If they're not U.S. citizens, that might be a different scenario.
Right.
But I believe that you can do a Hawaii cruise. They're not touching an international port. You're going from like Los Angeles to Honolulu to Maui to Kauai to the Big Island. You're coming right back. So that should not be a problem. But of course, you need to have some kind of ID on you.
Yes.
And if you have a passport, that's what I would use.
You guys, listen, we're showing you how to get the passports now. This is the first time I've ever heard in the travel industry that they're having passport fairs.
Yeah, because they know this is going to...
Yeah.
Europe is super busy
It's
already.
super busy, but you also need that if you don't have a real ID.
Right.
So that's why they're doing it. So, don't be, do I need to get... No, you just say, hey, you know what, Mr. Client? It will open up your door, your window to get going, okay? There's our contact information. If you need anything, you can give us a call. If you want a copy of this PowerPoint, all you need to do is email me at the end of the presentation. Is that it, Amanda?
Yeah, that's it for questions. And if you guys have any more questions, feel free to reach out to us at Archer Travel, like Jose said, and we will help you.
Yeah, and like I said, you guys, we will be updating you as we get closer to May 7th on all these things. We'll be probably having another special report.
We'll probably review this again in a month.
In a month,
Right,
just
right
to
before,
keep
yeah.
you ready for it. Okay, but it is important information. Again, senior leadership, the golds, the silvers, the platinums. Use this information. If you want a copy of this PowerPoint, like I said, just email me and I'll send it to you. Please join us tomorrow as we recap the week at 10 a.m. Pacific time. We're going to set you up for next week. We got a good
deal.
week coming up. All right?
All right, listen, I know this was a lot, and it was kind of overwhelming because I'm like, oh my gosh, what the heck? And one more thing you need to know, and this is brand new. I know it was a lot to consume, but take one step at a time, step back and breathe. This is no reason for panic.
Yeah.
What we're trying to do is give you a heads up because summer travel is heavy this year. I do this and I want to tell you, the influx of travel to destinations outside the United States is extremely popular this year.
And also travel inbound to the United States. Orlando, Florida, Utah, Vegas, all those places, New York, LA, you name it, they're coming.
So to our partners out there that are in Great Britain,
And
Australia, Mexico, where else have we got?
EU.
Just remember, if your customer's coming inbound, what you need for them, okay? Make sure they have a good experience, not one that's going to cause panic.
I want to thank Susie for taking time out of her busy
Thank you
schedule
guys
for being here.
Thank you, Jose. Thank you, Amanda. This was a lot, like I said, but it's a process.
Okay. See you
Goodbye,
guys.
everybody. Take
Bye.
care.